You may hate pop-ups or love them, but whatever the case, they work and they're here to stay. Now, question, if you use Elementor Pro pop-ups, how can you launch pop-ups from the navigation menu?
Let's find out.
Hello, I'm your host Casino. I'm a digital alchemist, and today we're going to take a look at how you can trigger pop-ups from the navigation of your Elementor Pro Power website, whichever WordPress theme you are using. And if you're using the Astra WordPress theme and you stay until the end, I will also show you how to trigger a pop-up from the Astra theme navigation. And as always, you will find all the links in the description of this episode. So this is what we're going to build in this tutorial. So we have a basic page, and we have a Elementor Pro header, and here on the right hand side I have a login button, and when we click on the button, here comes the login pop-up. And as I mentioned, if you stay until the end, and if you're using the Astra WordPress theme, then I will show you how to achieve that, but with the Astra navigation. So let's move to the WordPress admin. As you can see, I've already created 2 pages, but they're just basic pages. So I created the page for the Astra nav and the page for the Elementor nav, but that's all I've created. We're going to create everything from scratch. So the first thing we want to do is create the pop-up. So go to Template, Pop-ups. Okay, click Add New Pop-up, and I'm going to name it Demo Pop-up. Then click on Create Template. Okay, so now we can look for the template that we want. I'm going to look for the same template that I use in the demo. As you can see, there are a lot of different pop-up templates, and I'm going to pick that one. Okay, so next I'm going to tweak it to my liking. So I'm going to remove that image, but you could put your logo there or anything you want. And then I'm going to change the color. So I click on the edit icon, I go to style, and here I'm just going to select that blue. And then here for the form, same thing, I click on the edit icon, style, and I go to the button options, and I'm going to change the background color to the same blue. So that's fine. Now, because I removed the image, I think there's a bit too much padding here. So I'm just going to click on the settings icon for the pop-up, and then I'm going to change the custom height to 500 pixels, and I think it's much better that way. Once I'm happy, I can click on publish and go through the conditions, triggers, and advanced rules. So the first condition is well, the fact that I want to include the pop-up on the entire site. So I'm not going to add any other conditions. So click next. I don't plan to use any triggers here because I want to use a manual trigger on the button. So next, and I'm not going to add any advanced rules. So just save and close. And as you can see, Elementor is automatically saving the pop-up. So that was the first step. Now let's go back to our dashboard. And the next step is to create the navigation actually. So I'm going to go to Templates, Theme Builder. Okay, and now I want to create a new header. So I'm just going to call it Demo Header and click on Create Template. Okay, so now we're inside the builder, and just like for the pop-ups, we can use one of the templates here, or you could create a header from scratch. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to use one of these. So I'm going to click on Insert. Okay, so now I have my navigation here. So I'm going to change some of the settings. First of all, I want it to be full width. I prefer it like that, but then I want to add a little bit of padding on the side. So I'm just going to unlink the values, and then I'm going to add 30 pixels on the right and 30 pixels on the left so that it looks a little bit better. You can't really see the logo right now, but I'm going to use a transparent header so you'll understand why. Okay, so first let's look at that. Okay, that's fine. For the sides, I'm just going to align the logo on the left hand side and just going to check that here. Yeah, it's aligned on the right hand side. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, I want to remove that border shadow. This is purely personal preference. So Let me look at the border, and as you can see here, I can just reset the box shadow to default. So I'm just going to click that, and as you can see, the box shadow disappeared. Okay, so once I'm happy with it, I can just publish. But before we do that, actually, I need to create the trigger, which is the purpose of this tutorial. So let's click on the button. It says donate now. I'm just going to change it to login. Okay. And now I want to link it. So I'm going to click on dynamic. Then I go to pop-up. Then I click on the wrench icon here. Okay, and now we're going to look for our demo pop-up that we created. And it's right here. So now we're ready to publish. So I'm just going to click on publish, and I'm going to add a condition. I actually don't want to display this on the entire site. So I'm going to choose singular. Then I'm going to choose all pages, and then I'm going to choose the Elementor nav page. Now I can save and close. Okay, now I'm back on the front end demo, and if I click on Elementor nav, let's try it, and it works. Okay, now if you want to see how to change that into a transparent header, I'm just going to go back to the page builder. I'm going to click here on the settings for the section, and then I'm going to add transparency to the header. Now, if I just refresh the page now, you're not going to see any change basically. But it worked, and I'm going to show you how to change that. So the first thing we want to do is go back to the section, and we're going to give it a specific height. So minimum height is going to be 100 pixels. Okay, keep that in mind, 100 pixels. All right, and because it's going to be on a dark background, I'm going to change also the color of the navigation. So the text color is going to be white. And the hover color is going to be this color, gray, and same thing for the pointer color. Okay, so now I can update. There's one more thing we need to do. So let's go back to our dashboard. Now let's go to the pages, and we're going to change the Elementor nav page. Okay, so now we're back in the Elementor page builder, and we're actually on the Elementor nav page. So I'm just going to click on the edit section, and then I'm going to give a negative margin of 100 pixels, which is, if you remember, the height that we gave to the header. Okay, and now as you can see, it's going to look good. So updates. And now if you go back on the front end, I'm just going to refresh the page. Okay, now it's looking much better. And if we go back to the home page, you can see that we have the theme navigation because we only gave the condition to show that navigation on the Elementor nav page. So that's pretty easy. Let me go back to Elementor nav. And as I said here, I've used a button with a login model pop-up, but it could also be a nav icon or a navicon or a hamburger icon, you know what I'm talking about. And when you click on it, you could have a side pop-up with the navigation or with full screen navigation as shown in the previous video, but really that's how you achieve it. Now, as promised, I told you at the beginning of this video that if you use the Astra WordPress theme, I'm going to show you how to achieve that without using the header from Elementor Pro. So let's do that. So back in the WordPress admin, the first thing we want to do is to create the pop-up, but we've already created it previously for the Elementor nav. So we're going to go straight to step 2, and step 2 is to create the trigger. So what we're going to do is go to templates, then add new, and we're going to create a section. I'm not going to choose a location, and I'm just going to give it a name called demo assets. Then click on create template. Okay, and now I should be able to add blocks if I wanted to, but I'm just going to create that from scratch. So basically, I'm going to create a structure. You could pick 1 column, 3 columns, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to add a button. So I'm just going to drag a button. Okay, and let's align it on the right hand side. I'm going to make this column narrower, and then I'm just going to edit the button. So I could just copy the button from the navigation we made previously, but let's just do it now. It's pretty fast. So actually that's about it. I'm just going to change the border radius, and then back on the content, I'm going to say login, maybe Astra login, so that you see the difference. Okay, and now I'm going to link it the same way I linked the button in the Elementor navigation. So on the link field, go to dynamic, then look for pop-up, then click on the wrench icon, and now we're going to look for our demo pop-up. Okay, so that's fine. Now we want to publish that. And before we move to the next step, what I want to do is I want to save that button as a global element, and you'll understand why later. So I'm just going to right click on the edit button, and I'm going to click on save as global. Then I'm going to give it a name, global, and I'm going to call that Astra login. Save that. As you can see now, we have an orange outline, which means it's a global element, and you can see it here in the global elements tab. So I'm just going to update one more time. Okay, and now we're ready to move to our next step. So let's go back to our dashboard. Go to appearance, customize. Okay, and now we want to go to layout, header, primary header, and we want to add the last element of the menu as a widget. Now, on the demo, it was already set on widget because I made some tests previously, but when you just open it for the first time, it should be like this. It should be set to none, like this. So just select widget. Okay, now you can publish. And we're going to go back a few steps at the root of the customizer. And now we go to the widgets tab. And as you can see, now that we've enabled the widget in the header, you can see that there's a header option in the widget section. So click on header and click on add a widget. Next, click on Elementor library. And now we're going to select our demo assets section. But as you can see, because we chose a complete section, it doesn't look really good here. So what we want to do is publish first. Then I'm going to refresh the customizer with Command R. And now if I go back to widgets, give it some time to refresh, header, Elementor library, and now you can see all the other elements. Now, I don't know why it doesn't work right away, because you should see the widget, the global widget right away. I don't know why it doesn't work right away, but that's the little trick. So you just save, you refresh the customizer, and then it's here. So now if I select global Astra login widgets, as you can see, it's much better. So now I can publish. Okay, and now let's go back to the front end, and I'm just going to refresh the page. I could use Command R or F5 on Windows, but I just click on the home. And now you can see the Astra login button, and if I click on it, just like for the Elementor nav, you can now trigger a pop-up from the Astra navigation, And once again, here I've used a button, but you could use text, you could use an image, you could use a navicon or hamburger icon. You can use whatever you want, basically. But the great news is that if you don't want to use the header from Elementor Pro for, I don't know for which reason, but you may have valuable reasons, now you can actually start trigger the pop-up from the Astra theme navigation. And if you're using another theme, if that theme allows you to add widgets, then you can actually do exactly the same thing. So I hope that was helpful. And if you want me to cover other tips and tricks with the pop-ups, just let me know in the comments. So I hope that this video helped you understand how to trigger an Elementor pop-up from the navigation of your website. Now, I'd be curious to know, what is your favorite feature about Elementor pop-ups? Let me know in the comments, and by the way, you will find the companion blog post on my website, ksenior.com, and the direct link is in the description of this episode. Now, if you're interested in purchasing Elementor Pro, you'll find a link in the description of this video. Now, to be crystal clear, this is an affiliate link, which means that I do get a commission if you purchase a license after clicking on my link. But one, I only recommend Elementor Pro because I love the product, and two, commissions help me support this channel and create free content. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like it, as it really helps growing this channel. And if you know someone that could benefit from it, please share it now. If you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and smash the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. Now, if you want to brand, market, and grow your business in the digital age, then make sure you subscribe to my email newsletter so that you never miss a share of digital alchemy, as well as tips, tools, services, and case studies that can help you grow your business online. So that's it for this episode. I hope to see you around, and in the meantime, don't forget to invest in your success.